And the injury report got some additions. Some roster moves got made days before our Week 2 home opener against the Carolina Panthers. We'll get to it in a minute here. Welcome back to Cardinals Daily. I'm Eddie Law. Hit that sub, hit that bell, send that like, and like I said, let's get right to it. Oh, we got some roster moves going on here. A couple guys going on IR. Well, one of them in particular. Wasn't all great news today. Cardinals safety Joey Blount was placed on IR due to a neck injury suffered against the New Orleans Saints. Blount left the game with a concussion, but it wasn't until he was examined by the team docs, obviously, that they discovered the neck injury. So Blount is part of that safety rotation with Budda Baker and Jalen Thompson. So him moving to IR leaves an opportunity for Kitten Crawford and De'Drion Taylor and Demerson to grab those snaps from him, right? So it'll be cool to get those young guys, some more snaps on the field, of course. That also includes Blount's job on special teams. That's right, which I think Crawford's going to get the bulk of, being a guy that sort of barely made the roster. So that left the roster spot open, and the Cardinals signed Simi Fehoko to the active roster. Simi Fehoko is a wide receiver, was part of the preseason cuts, even though he played pretty damn well. He got a couple touchdowns in preseason, but he gets called up to the active roster now for the Carolina Panthers game on Sunday, so it'll be nice to have him in the mix. And, of course, they also signed linebacker Channing Tindall to the practice squad. Tindall spent the last 2-3 seasons with the Miami Dolphins coming to the Cardinals. The former third-round pick actually appeared in most of Miami's games since 2022 before being cut in the preseason, part of the final cuts. And that's gotta be really, really crappy to get one of the guys that gets cut in the very last day. You think you made it, and then damn, out. And Tip Ryman did not practice due to a foot injury, so that's fun. We're going to have to lean heavily on Trey McBride and Elijah Higgins if he can't go this weekend, specifically with the special team stuff, but also with, pass blocking and stuff like that. So, again, just, more injuries, more problems, people. Paris Johnson Jr., baby. Cardinals left tackle Paris Johnson Jr. put in work against the Saints last week, right? Earning an 88.4 pass block grade from PFF, which was third best among all tackles last week, and 100% pass block win rate from ESPN. According to PFF, he only trailed Chargers tackle Joe Alt and Seahawk tackle Charles Cross. Johnson allowed no sacks, no hits, no hurries on Kyler Murray, which is huge, right? Giving Kyler at least peace of mind on the backside, on the blind side, allowing him to cook a bit. If you're not worried about getting a hit from the blind side all the time, it allows you to, at least as a quarterback, to focus on everything else. Massive sigh of relief for Kyler and, of course, Cardinals fans to keep Kyler upright and alive. Now, we still have some run block issues. We got to figure it out. We'll get it done. But Johnson did pretty damn well in that department, too. So, the media talking heads have begun to talk about PJJ as a guy who's on the cusp of becoming one of the best left tackles in the game today. I think he's already there. He just needs to, show it to the national audience. And it'll be just interesting to see how he handles more elite pass rushers as the season moves on, specifically against, Nick Bosa and the Niners here at Week 3. We'll get to that game soon enough. We got to talk about Week 2 and the matchup I'm most excited for in Week 2. So, I'm happy about the weekend's game, right? For a multitude of reasons. But I'd be lying if I wasn't pumped to see Will Johnson versus Tatora McMillan, T-Mac. That match is going to be wild this week. It's like a heavyweight boxing match, between two guys who were highly doubted during the draft process. One went top 10, the other went second round, but both still have a lot to prove in Week 2. McMillan had a solid first game last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars, putting up 5 catches on 9 targets, 68 yards, no scores, sure, but, it's the Panthers, right? So it wasn't a massive breakout game, but the Arizona Wildcats product, bear down, showed plenty of flashes of talent, including an impressive catch that will make your grip strength look like that of a dying Chihuahua. I mean, he grabbed that ball with his fingertips and held on to it like it was 2 hands. It was wild. So he showed pretty damn good separation ability and the ability and willingness to go airborne for a contested catch, He did pretty damn good despite the Panthers' weak offensive game. So at 6'5", 212 pounds, he has the size to take on any NFL corner, and Johnson's going to have his hands full at State Farm Stadium on Sunday in the home opener. Johnson also has the physical stats. Let's not play. He can match up with T-Mac quite well physically. He also has, he's 6'2", comes in at 200 pounds, has plenty of hops and go speed as well. At Arizona, T-Mac was a deep ball threat for the most part. But with the Panthers, he's shown improvement in the short zone, catching balls 5 yards out, finding yards up to the catch and everything. He's going to be a really good receiver in the league, and we'll have to make sure to put plenty of attention on him this weekend between Melton and Will Johnson, and Garrett Williams. But I think Johnson was going to just fine against him on his own. And this would be great because I believe this is going to be the new corner wide receiver rivalry in the NFL. And it's nice for the Cardinals to finally be involved in one of those because normally we're kind of the laughing stock of the league. So It'll be nice to get one of those matchups, one of those rivalries going, where every single time they play, you can't help but tune in and watch these two guys go to war. Hot take. I know it's felt like a quick show. This one's gonna take a minute. A lot of people. All right, it's something I thought about for years, really. And I really think the Cardinals' lack of success hasn't really been due to the Niners or the Seahawks or the Rams or even the Steelers, 08 Super Bowl, or anybody. I think the Cardinals' biggest opponent, their biggest enemy, their biggest op this season, as the kids put it, is themselves. Look, the Cardinals' biggest opponent this season isn't the Panthers, not the Niners, it's not the gauntlet of the NFC schedule, it's them, right? Against the Saints in Week 1, we saw it. Yes, Kyler Murray threw for 2 touchdowns. Yes, Marvin Harrison Jr. made plays that prove he's already a number 1 receiver, but here's the truth. Arizona's rushing attack never got going, and Kyler was sacked 5 times. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That tells me that the line still has cracks outside of Paris Johnson Jr. He was phenomenal. He was great, but he can't protect Kyler by himself. Now, if this team becomes one-dimensional, what happens? If the run game doesn't scare defenses, what happens? These defensive coordinators will pin their ears back, bring the pressure, and force Kyler into constant scramble mode. And that's when bad things happen. Stalled drives, turnovers, and worst of all, the injury risk. We've already seen how that works for Kyler. And again, the one knee injury that took him out for a year and change, that was non-contact. So that's one of those. That's probably like the scariest type of injury you can get, or one of them. Non-contact means that was going to happen no matter what. And usually those are like complete tears or really bad injuries. So it's an injury risk to not have your whole game at least moving a little bit. On top of that, self-inflicted wounds are still lurking, right? We've seen it before. Penalties, missed assignments, and wasted red zone trips. Those are the worst. I mean, imagine getting to the red zone over and over and over again, and you just can't get the ball across the goal line. You can run it all you want to. You can bootleg. You can play action. You can do whatever you want, right? If you can't take advantage of those red zone trips and they're wasted, it hurts, right? And if you look at the analytics, man, and in the analytics, not being able to score when you get into the red zone is a huge. It's like in basketball these days, right? These days, the more three-point shots you jack up there, the better chance you have to win, right? It almost like mid-range shots inside the three-point line, of course, is basically a wasted shot these days. A lot of people have said the mid-range game has gone away. Look at the Phoenix Suns, for example. They went heavy with mid-range players, and look what it got us. Nothing. Nothing. So, same kind of concept here in terms of analytics. So, Cardinals clean up some of that against New Orleans, but against better teams, which, we're playing one slightly better team this week, and we're playing a much better team in week 3, and so on and so forth. Those little mistakes won't just cost us yards. They're going to cost us games. So, here's the scary part. MHJ, Marvin Harrison Jr., already looks like a superstar. Trey McBride is a legit tight end weapon. Kyler Murray's healthy. The pieces are there. But if Arizona can't run the ball and keep Kyler upright, all of that talent gets wasted. We'll be talking about highlight reels instead of playoff pushes, right? So here's my hot take. Cardinals have the talent to shock people. But the only thing holding them back from being real contenders isn't their opponents, it's themselves. If you look at the way we shoot ourselves in the foot, right? The mental mistakes are terrible. Every year we have all the pieces we need, right? We improved. For example, let's just go to this season, for example. We've improved the defensive line. Josh Sweat, Calais Campbell comes back, Dalvin Tomlinson, and Walter Nolan, Darius Robinson look great in preseason. Zevin Collins is looking good on the in the line and everything. But we got 1 sack last week. Not gonna cut it. Certainly not going to cut it against a guy like Bryce Young this weekend, who knows when to run now, how to run. I mean, last season, he found out he had legs against us. Ran for 68 yards on like five carries. I believe that's what the number was. But either way, when the quarterbacks like Bryce Young figure out, okay, all I need to do is get 5 yards passing, right? And if I get to third down, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, okay, well, run. And he's effective. He's fast, right? He's very much somewhat what Jalen Hurts did in week 1 against the Chiefs, right? They would do really well, kind of shut everybody else down, and he'd be like, I'm going to take a quick stroll, give me that first down. So it's definitely, shoot yourself in the foot time is over. We can't be doing that anymore, right? Again, the Cardinals have the talent to shock people. We have the talent to shock the league. We can make a deep playoff. Look, once you get in the playoffs, if you have the momentum going, anything can happen. right? We've been in the playoffs before where it was like, where we were favorites. We're like, oh, they're definitely gonna win. We win and we eat it in the first game. We've been in the playoffs before, the 9-8 2008 Arizona Cardinals, where we have no shot. We got lucky to get in the wild card. We're gonna get mauled. Made it Super Bowl, one play away from being Super Bowl champions of the 9-8 team. All right, with old Kurt Warner at quarterback. And a really, really crappy offensive line. I mean, terrible offensive line. I mean, I don't know how that man survived. He was old already, and he was getting hit he got taken out quite a few times. So, the only thing holding them back, man, it's themselves. It's from being contenders or actual contenders, it's themselves. It's not the opponent. So, gotta stop beating ourselves, straight up. So let's hope the Cardinals get it together. All right, we got another shot this weekend. We get to see Bryce Young and the Panthers come into State Farm Stadium. I'll be at the game. Hopefully, I'll be able to take some video, put it up here for you guys to watch, just a minute or two of it. Not the actual game, obviously, but give you a little bit of the home game feel. But again, that'll be on Sunday. That'll be for Monday's show, of course. All right, that's gonna do it today for this episode of Cardinals Daily. I'm Eddie Law. Don't forget to hit that sub, hit that like, hit that bell, especially the bell, and leave a comment. I'll see you all tomorrow for more Cardinals Daily.